So it was that occasion that Reverend Bennett wanted me to meet Daddy King. And we went to meet Daddy King, and I'll never forget it. He was seated in his office in the Ebenezer Baptist Church on Albany Street in Atlanta. I walked in and I shook hands with him, and I was impressed. Mr. Herman, his hands were so big he could hold a basketball like this. And when little old Murray stuck his hand in to shake it, it was gone. It disappeared. I'm a fan of Mr. Herman. And we sat and we talked, and we became such good friends, such close friends, that he actually confided in me, and we talked about things that perhaps were on his mind and were on my mind. And I don't know of anybody, and I want each of you to think about this. Randy, it might be a good project. Think about it. If you know of any prominent person that suffered more than Daddy King, few men faced the enormous tribulations as did Daddy King. Martin Luther King Jr. was killed April the 4th, 1968, while standing on the balcony of the motel room at the Lorraine Motel in Memphis, Tennessee. I talked to him a few days before he went. He told me he was going, and we discussed at that time the fact that, you know, he was really not very well liked. A lot of historians are inclined to forget that there was a huge, huge, huge hatred of Martin Luther King Jr. and the United States in those days. And we discussed that. A little more than 1 year later, Alfred Daniel King, whom we affectionately called A.D., died in an accident. And my friends, the accident, quote and unquote accident, was under investigation by the Atlanta Police Department for several weeks because of the circumstances surrounding his death. They concluded he died by drowning, but they weren't quite sure how that drowning occurred. He was in his own pool at home. On Monday, June the 25th, Dad invited me to attend services at his beloved Ebenezer on Sunday, June the 30th. He intended to recognize me because I had assisted him in obtaining some funds to repair the air conditioning unit in the Ebenezer Baptist Church. And what I'm about to tell you, my friends, is truthful, accurate, and it reminds me of the admonition when I went into the courtroom of a judge in Atlanta, Georgia. On his lectern, he had the following information. Always tell the truth. Then you will not have to remember what you said. So what I'm about to tell you is, I could almost recite it. I have a few notes here. But as this Sunday morning, as I said, was invited to go to Ebenezer, and I was driving down the highway to go to the Ebenezer Church, and as I get at the intersection of Piedmont and Albany Avenue, I'm listening to WSB radio, and there's an announcement. We interrupt this program to tell you that there's been a shooting at Ebenezer Baptist Church. Stay tuned. We'll give you later reports. I'm 3 blocks from the church. I drove up, got out the car, and the sheriffs recognized me and said, Dad, Lawyer Silver said, Mama King's been shot. Sitting at the organ, getting ready for services on Sunday morning. Get the picture, friends. Daddy King was there, and he came over and we hugged him. His face was about as white as mine, and I mean no disparaging remark, but it was. He was really shaken. Mama King died, and Dad asked me to attend the funeral, and I did. And the reason why I'm going into this, Randy, is because it brings me to the point that we're trying to make. The Dad, Ms. Brown, Dad eulogized his wife. When he approached, they had Mama King in a white coffin, dressed in a pink dress in front, just a few feet from where she'd been shot. And Daddy King approached the casket, and he spoke quietly at first, audibly, and as he proceeded to talk, you could feel the strength coming back. And he said things such as, her ways were ways of pleasantness, all her paths were peace. Ms. Brown, I remember just like it was yesterday. He approached the casket, put his hand on the casket gently, and he said, the words which I believe probably resonate today as probably the most important thing Dad said. I cannot hate any man. And then he proceeded to say, he called Mama King Bunch, B-U-N-C-H, Bunch. And so Dad said, so Bunch, I'm coming on up home. I'll be home almost any time now. The packed congregation gasped. Everybody was crying. And I have seldom seen greater empathy.